Welcome back to the second hour of 8-Bits. I'm djWHEAT, joined as always by itmeJP. We just got through what we've been playing, minus one game that JP did give a shot at this week. And, I mean, we could go ahead and just kick off our Gamescom content with that, JP, if you want to.
Yeah, so I made the mistake of playing a game by, I guess not even a game, it's called PT. It didn't stand for anything at the time of playing it, but it stands for Playable Teaser. I honestly don't want to give too much away because Wheat has not played this game yet. I guess one thing we can talk about is how genius it is to release a game like this in the middle of the Sony press conference that says, like, PT available for download now. Go play it. Interactive teaser. You heard like this weird. It was like a bag that was like bloodied in a little bit, and it said like 3 or 4 lines of text, and that was it. That's all it said. No mention of what it was or the fact that it was the next Silent Hill or who was working on it. That Del Toro and Kojima were involved, and yeah, and then later that day, probably about 5 or 6 hours, maybe even a little bit more than that, after the press conference, when you end up finishing PT, it is revealed that it is the next game called Silent Hills, which is the next Silent Hill game in that franchise, which, historically has been probably one of the most terrifying games in video game.
I gotta say,
lore.
So
video game history.
Let's talk. I mean, as someone who's been a big Kojima fan,
yeah, the
Metal Gear stuff looks fucking dumb.
The new stuff, you mean?
It actually looks fucking dumb. And I feel like Kojima needs to move away from Metal Gear for a little while. He
didn't like the box
he's
tech?
Actually a cinematic genius. You know, like he really is. And he's always said he wants to make his movies, which are video games. Throwing him in something like Silent Hill and him expressing, I really want to make a game like this, I think that's awesome. But yeah, I'm not a fan of like the stupid fucking, oh, there's a girl on this cardboard box. Oh, there's another soldier.
It's really dumb.
What the fuck are you doing? It's
really dumb.
It's so, I mean, I'm already like obviously not happy with stealth, but fucking facepalm, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I cannot believe you guys. I mean, look, I can suspend reality great. I'm already solid saying I've already played through. I've already suspended reality crawling around in fucking cardboard boxes. Dude, please, this is so dumb.
It's really dumb, but it's a kind of dumb that I'm into. Like I was pretty the fact that, it's one of the biggest press conferences of the year at Gamescom, and you show 4 minutes of box tech for your next big game on the next big platform.
That's it. That's what I'm complaining about.
Of box tech.
Okay?
It's like, holy shit, that is fucking A, ballsy, 2, really dumb, and 3, the dumb that I like.
I mean, people are like, I guess djWHEAT is the thing. I guess djWHEAT has never played a Metal Gear game, and you realize that you sneak around in a fucking cardboard box. Like, bro, I played fucking 8-bit Metal Gear, so get off my dick, because I guarantee you that there are people in the chat that fucking thought Metal Gear Solid was the first Metal Gear game to ever be made. All I'm saying is that, like, I expect more out of this game at Gamescom than fucking a bikini girl on a fucking box.
Yeah.
You guys cannot hold that against me.
Right. And
you can't.
They showed so much of that game over the past year or maybe 2 years that I don't know what else you can show, right? Like, the game just needs to hurry up and come out, especially with the Ground Zeroes bullshit. So yeah, I understand the gripe that you have, but I just thought it was fucking hilarious that in the biggest conference of the year, they show that. That was just incredible to me. That was incredible to me. But yeah, going back to PT, I streamed it. I am not ashamed to say that probably about 3/4 of the way through the stream, the audio was muted completely. I could not take it anymore.
For which one?
For PT. I played the game without audio.
Oh.
It was too much, Wheat.
Oh, I'm excited for that.
It was too fucking scary. I could not handle it. And then the end was kind of annoying. He made the puzzle a little bit difficult towards the end, especially without audio. But yeah, that fucking game, man. I think that there's a, like, I guess I'll set this up this way. There's a lot of different horror genres, right? And I think one of the scariest for me is Japanese horror. I'm thinking like Grudge or something like that. I just hate that imagery of like, or like The Ring. Like all that shit is probably, for me, the scariest shit that you can see. You can be a part of. Both the movies scared the living shit out of me. I saw both theaters. And that really translates over to the type of horror that is in PT. But one thing that I think, I spent a lot of time thinking about this, I think that the reason that that game, for me, makes Amnesia and makes Outlast seem really dumb and not scary is the fact that this game looks fucking incredible.
Dude, the game, so I did.
Absolutely, it is amazing looking.
I watched you play about a minute when I came in to tell you that I couldn't play Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And the first thing, because I didn't even know, right? So I'm just like, fucking, first off, what is this, right?
Yeah.
Second off, like, this is exactly the type of game that I love to play. But yeah, it looked fucking amazing. Like some of the textures, and then I immediately turned it off because I'm like, I want to play it. Yeah, really.
A lot of the screenshots do look photorealistic, and there's actually been some touch-ups that people have released of certain things from the game where, with just some minor touch-ups, it actually looks like real photographs. It's crazy. It says a lot about the game or it says a lot about like Silent Hills and what we can expect. The fact that this entire playable teaser takes place in a single L-shaped hallway. And that's it. That's all it is. And it's still scary as a motherfucker. Very, very subtle stuff. Probably like 40 or 50% of the scares I never even saw just because I was not interested in it. I wasn't looking around every corner or looking at everything in the game or staring at something long enough. And they have small little things that'll just scare the shit out of you. But there were definitely some audible screams from myself. I've seen a lot of people actually. I've watched some reaction videos. There's a YouTube video of I think it's a Spanish streamer, and she just ends up like breaking down crying about halfway through it. She couldn't take it. Patrick of Giant Bomb, Patrick Klepek, who's a big horror game fan, was playing it. He's got his VOD up. I think there's a quick look of it for non-subscribers to that channel. And he has like one of the craziest scares that I've ever seen him have. Like
nice.
Where he curls up and like seriously freaks the fuck out.
I can't wait to play it, dude.
It's scary as fuck, dude.
I can't wait.
Yeah. I was deliberate. There were points. Chad's talking about my playthrough. There was points where I was deliberately not looking at the screen. I just did not want to see what I was about to see, and it's scary as fuck. And I probably won't play the full game because a full game of that level of horror would
my God,
not make me
Give
sleep.
Give it to me all day. I can't wait. All day.
But it's really good. The sound design is crazy. The fact that he made a statement saying that they dumbed down the graphics because they wanted it to look like an indie game or an independent studio made it was kind of weird. Because one, it looks incredible to begin with. And if they can actually make it look more realistic than it already is, then I do not want to play that game at all. But yeah, it's scary as fuck. I actually can't wait to watch you play it. I almost don't want to, though, because then I'm going to relive how scary that game is, and I don't want to. I might just like put it on a screen and listen to your audio.
I can't wait. All right. Well, I threw up the phone number. We already got some calls coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and start taking them. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Let's take our first one. We've got Steven on the line. Welcome to 8-Bits. What's up, man?
Not much, guys. How you guys doing today?
Doing good. You hear him okay, JP?
Yeah, can turn him down just a tiny bit.
Yeah, sure. Steven, you hear JP okay?
Yeah, he sounds good.
Great. Fantastic.
Well, I'm not much of a console gamer. In fact, I haven't owned a console since my 360 broke. But basically, the PS4 is just kicking the crap out of the Xbox One. And if you put aside, like, all the amazing trailers we've seen for the PS4 from Gamescom, like Wild, and then Hellblade was pretty good looking trailer. Sony actually, they're doing a lot with their just online functionality. They're adding, YouTube integration and like a share play feature, which is really good for, letting your friends who don't own the game play with you. Do you see like any way for the Xbox One to catch up? Like, I just don't see any strengths coming out. I mean, Halo 5 Guardians is going to have to be like the biggest draw in history for the Xbox One.
I think that both Xbox, well, probably Microsoft is counting on, and I think it's going to do a really, really good things for the console. But I think the Halo Chronicles or whatever the big Halo 1 through 4 on a single disc, I think that's going to sell a lot of systems. I know a ton of people that are actually just going to buy an Xbox One for that. I think also Halo 5 will be a huge sell because honestly, that's probably what made the Xbox so big. That coupled with Xbox Live and Halo 2. Like that is why the 360 was such a huge deal to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, as a Sony fanboy, obviously it feels good right now to see Sony finally having a leg up in the competition, almost in a similar way that they did, back in the early PlayStation 1 days. However, I think with the new generation of consoles, one thing we have to keep in mind is that it's going to be another year and a half, 2 years before we truly see, the games of this generation. And or at least the start of those. So I think that it's probably fair to say that this war can still be won in the next couple of years, and then I would expect, like JP said, that things like like you said, Steven, the new Halo, the Halo collection, that will at least give a few legs up. I was actually shocked as shit to learn about the Tomb Raider timed exclusive for Xbox.
That's a lot of money.
That it must be a lot of money, and I mean, frankly, it had to have been a lot of money because they would not have done that knowing that there are more PlayStations out there than there are Xbox Ones.
You should watch Angry Joe's rant. He was not happy about the Tomb Raider decision.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't. There was a big reaction on that.
But I think it's still too early to call. You can't forget that Xbox 360 was the go-to North American household console.
That's true.
The fact that it just so quickly kind of turned to place, that seems a little weird. Well, I wouldn't.
It turned because of two reasons. It turned one because Sony did a really good job at getting the right games as well as the right indie devs and the community behind it. But the reason they got the community behind it is because Microsoft fucked up so hard with the launch of the Xbox One.
They were given that little
It wasn't because Sony did everything so good. It was because Xbox did everything so right. And with Spencer coming in and Phil Spencer coming in and basically saying, fuck the Kinect. We want to get I don't think there was a single mention of that all Gamescom long. And the only game that's coming out for it is this Dance Central game. Apart from that, they are not talking about Kinect at all.
That's their best decision.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it gets people interested in that console.
You only get one of those, though, you guys, right?
Yeah.
You only get one Virtual Boy. You only get one Kinect. You only get one time. Sony somehow keeping the Move relevant by at least having the technology and the controllers.
Well, they also didn't force it down our throats, right? They realized.
Fair.
I don't know if they realized that, but
yeah.
The Kinect was in our face all of the Xbox One for the very beginning.
Yes.
Move was never mentioned. They're doing it the same thing with Morpheus as well. They bring it up every now and then in these press conferences, but they're not saying it's the next big thing.
Yeah.
Which is smart. I think one thing too that could actually kind of throw it back over into Xbox's or into Microsoft's favor is this whole thing of PlayStation Now and this idea of streaming and some of the stuff they talked about at Gamescom at the conference of being able to play with your friend, which is you streaming the game to them. That could all fail really, really badly because it's all going to hinge on connection speed. If you don't have the speed to do something like that, it's worthless to you.
This totally seems like a functionality, a feature built for a Japanese infrastructure that they are now trying to bring over. Now, Granted, things have gotten a lot better over here in the U.S. as far as infrastructure is concerned, but it's still shit. And the thing that surprises me about that, JP, is that I feel like they're trying to get ahead of the cloud game, where this is all inevitably going. Everything will all inevitably be making it to the cloud. So, you know, at least for them to get in a position where they're like, okay, we can offer our PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 catalog through this method. Like, I think that's great, and I'm glad they're making it. I'm just so not happy with their approach to how you do it and the fact that you don't own that. I can't believe it's not a membership thing like PlayStation Plus. You know, it's too bad.
The U.S. internet at the moment, I don't think is fast enough across the board for something like PlayStation Now and all that stuff to work 100% reliable.
I would agree on the infrastructure. From experience.
I mean, even
sucks.
Europe. Well, no, Europe actually has really quick download, but their upload is shit, from what I've gathered.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. That we're gonna have to see like what happens in the next year or so. But I think Xbox is where Sony has like shined as of late with their titles. I think Xbox is about to get its big.
They need it.
Big titles.
They definitely need it. So, Steven, thanks for your call, man.
Thanks, guys. You have a good one.
Yep.
By the way, I wanted to make it clear because I said inevitably everything will go to the cloud. I was not insinuating that we will be playing games streamed over the cloud. In fact, I am so against that. It doesn't make sense to me. You know, like I can't ever, like I buy all of this nice hardware and shit so I can play this stuff. However, having access to legacy libraries, having access to maybe like try shit out through this method, I am down for it and in full support of it. But you know, I've made my talks about the cloud before, and we'll have to see. But let's take.
I also think Destiny is going to be huge
for everyone.
On PS4.
Yeah,
I mean, they for a while there, the way that they worded that was perfect from Sony in terms of the war, because I didn't even know it was coming out on the Xbox
Right,
One.
You thought it was just PlayStation 4. Yeah,
it's crazy.
We got our next caller. We got area code 804 on the line. Hello, welcome to 8-Bits. What's up?
Hey, is this me?
Yes, it is you. If you could just maybe mute the stream, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry for that. Hey, thanks for taking my call. So I'm not sure how big of Dark Souls 2 fans you guys are, but after further analysis of, like, the Bloodborne trailer,
right,
I feel like this is not going to be what most Dark Souls fans are hoping for. Like, it's going to be more action, hack and slash, kind of like DMC, and like less like RPG stat system where you you get souls in Dark Souls and then you put them to your stats, but like more like DMC where you have skills and you just like upgrade your skills over time. And I don't think like the weapons, like I don't think there'd be like tons and tons of weapons or like a loot system or anything. I think they have like a limited amount of weapons, because I hear that like they can all transform. So I don't think like they're gonna make too many weapons because they have to like make animations for all those transformations and stuff like that. So I was just wondering what are your thoughts on that?
JP, I know that when this trailer was playing, I was like, "Oh my God, I want now!" And you were
I was kind of mad.
Yeah, you kind of did mad. And I saw that beast with with all the like maybe made out of wood or something that just looked, I don't know, maybe it was hair or something, but it looks fucking amazing. Like it just looks, it's like the graphics I know that these types of games can have. I get the concern, but I'm curious to hear what you think about it.
I think I think what happened was that Sony went to the From Software team and was like, "Hey, we need a game that is maybe more mainstream than stuff that you have made before, and we need a pretty quick turnaround for this. Can you make it?" And they were like, "Yeah, but it's not going to be Dark Souls." And they're like, "Great, that's fantastic." And I think that's what they're going for here, is that they're trying to make that, I guess, genre or that Dark Souls IP is kind of a separate thing from Bloodborne. And I think they've done a pretty good job, but I think all the Dark Souls fans are still going to probably enjoy it. It's just not going to be the exact same experience. And eventually Dark Souls 3 is going to come out.
Which, as a game developer, like, you never want to paint yourself into a corner to where you're like, oh, From Software, like, this game is going to be Dark Souls. Because then if it's not, then you are disappointing that subset of fans. So, you know, I would urge folks that are maybe huge Dark Souls fans not to, you know, get too, I guess, displaced by what could, you know, this game could be, because, you know, I think it's good for From Software to branch out. I mean, obviously the one thing they're keeping is the style. There's a big fucking monster, and you know that won't be the only one in the whole thing.
Right,
so
you
know, like, I love that side of Dark Souls 2, is seeing what the next big thing I'm gonna fight. You know, yeah, it's hard, it might be a little different. If it has, like, some comboing, like Devil May Cry, or
dude, Devil May Cry, the reboot was incredible.
I'd be all for it. So yeah. What is your biggest concern? I mean, you mentioned the weapons. You mentioned, like, do you just think that Bloodborne is not going to be Dark Souls, and that is your concern, caller?
Well, I'm less concerned about From Software screwing this up, because I think it's still going to be a really great game. I'm more worried about the fans completely writing it off just because it's not Dark Souls 2 or like Dark Souls.
I mean, I would like to think that the Dark Souls 2 fans would be like fans of From Software, to be like, we will play anything you make, you know, just like a Blizzard game. You know, I'm a fan of Blizzard. I'll play anything that you put in front of me. But maybe they're not there yet.
They should be. I don't know. I think the game will do well sales-wise. I think that Sony's also getting behind it pretty big, so that I think that people will be interested in that have never played the Dark Souls campaign or the From Software type of game, speaking of Demon Souls and all that stuff. So I think it'll do well, especially with the push from Sony. They're getting it in the right places. I mean, they led the Gamescom conference with Bloodborne, right? Like, that was the first thing they showed. And I think that kind of shows what Sony is looking to do with this and where they're going to push it. So I think it'll be fine.
All right. Hey, caller, thanks for your call, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care.
Thanks,
bye-bye.
caller.
So apparently all streams are
I saw that.
Like, we're still streaming and we're still recording. So, I mean, it's business as usual. Sure. I don't know if we're going to, because normally people see, the call's over, so I'll start calling. So I'll just let them know, hey, keep calling.
Sure. I mean, we could talk about some of the other stuff. What were some of the trailers that you saw that you were most excited for?
I mean, I really like the Bloodborne trailer. The Wild trailer,
looked really good. We both said that. Yeah,
I thought Wild just looked absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really excited to see more for that game. We have a couple of calls coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and take them. We've got our first one. We got Seahole calling. And what's up, buddy? Welcome to 8-Bits.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing great.
So there was an announcement somewhat before Gamescom, and it wasn't really an announcement. It was kind of leaked. There's a new website called Sierra.com up.
Oh, yeah.
And I just want to know what you guys thought.
What happened with that?
Yeah, I thought they were going to, like, that. So what I was under the impression of is that they leaked that on purpose with the intention of announcing something bigger at Gamescom. But I haven't heard anything beyond this announcement. Now, for those that don't know, Sierra was it the leading publisher for PC games back in the day?
I mean, that's
it.
Everything.
Yeah, they actually published Half-Life, which started Valve technically.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to look up some of their other titles. Okay, here we go. So Sierra, and it does look like it's coming back as a subsidiary of Activision Blizzard. It was founded by Ken Williams and Roberta Williams, who both have an amazing amount of history as far as is concerned. But yeah, I mean, you look at like some of their early titles, all the King's Quest stuff, Space Quest, the reason Telltale is around right now is because of these guys. Quest for Glory, the Gabriel Knights, Lode Runner, and even went on to do like Phantasmagoria, which for its time was Goria, which was just totally crazy. Yeah, I mean,
Homeworld's on there too.
Yeah. So they did go down what? It was about 2000.
I think they went down in like 2003, but they were technically still under Vivendi.
Right, right.
There was a Vivendi Valve lawsuit.
I'm stoked. I mean, I don't know what this means.
I thought they were gonna. Yeah, I was expecting something from Gamescom.
Gamescom still is 2 more days, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think so.
That's true.
I think I'm going to take this with a grain of salt because I think a lot of the people that were there may not necessarily be there. So it might be Sierra, but it's different under all of it.
I mean, what my question is that the IPs for all of this stuff weren't just floating around, during this time. Someone has to own, Space Quest. Is it Activision? So they have the potential to just redo all this stuff, HD remix of everything, or
right.
I wonder what they are actually going to shoot for. Is this a ploy to bring back a lot of these old IPs? Is it a ploy to bring these IPs to new technology? I don't know.
Yeah,
did you say Activision owns Sierra?
It says Activision Blizzard.
I don't know then. I don't know what that could be.
Well, on the website it says Activision Publishing, but yeah.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
What about you, Seal?
I mean, maybe in the next 2 days they'll drop something.
I mean, I really can't say. I haven't been that much. I was into Sierra games, but it was towards the end, like with Half-Life, and Pharaoh was a great game that I loved. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm taking it with a grain of salt because who knows if the same people are still there. But I mean, at least King's Quest looks pretty great on the website.
True.
The question was about Sierra for those of you that just came on after the stream came back on. So, well, hopefully we'll see more this weekend from Sierra. It won't just be a guy climbing towards a mountain. That's
yep.
It. So, Seahole, thanks man.
Yep, take care.
Bye-bye. All right, I'm going to keep answering calls since they're still coming in. This time we got area code 310 from Southern California. Yes?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, it's the fat baby.
Is this the grief counseling hotline?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Hi, you've reached Ubisoft's lack of Beyond Good and Evil 2 grief counseling hotline.
Why? They had the audacity to put him up on stage.
Again.
And nothing.
Again. I swear to God, they know. They are getting their jimmies like they love it. They're getting off on this. They know that everyone wants Beyond Good and Evil 2, and they're just fucking with all of us.
Hey, I'll take Wild. Wild looks great. I think that looks cool.
I'm not saying it looks bad, but
right.
It's like
it's not Beyond Good and Evil 3.
Yes, it's like they know that we want it. They keep on teasing that they're making it, and what do we get for our trouble? We get some game that we've never even heard of before that I guess could be good. We don't know. I mean,
the other thing too is that with all this little dick teasing that they're doing, if the game sucks, then they really fucked up.
What if Wild sucks?
No.
Well, it's kind of turning into Half-Life 3, where it's been so long, hypes are just getting out of proportion, and when it finally comes out, like there's no way that it's going to reach like the astronomical like level of hype that people have been creating for it.
Man, I'm not. I gotta say, I'm not in this hype for Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Did you play Beyond Good and Evil 2 or Beyond Good and Evil? That's
short
a no.
answer. No.
That's a no. You gotta play it, dog.
Oh man,
you gotta play it. You gotta play it, man. JP, it's seriously like there's a reason why this game got released for every motherfucking console that it could have ever possibly got released for. Like there's a reason why there are guys like Fat Baby and I that will, jump in front of a train for the for the creation of this game. Like it's good. It's one of the it's a gem. It definitely is, man. I don't know. I think you should play it. It's like how long is it, Fat Baby? You could play it in like
you could
10 hours.
if you just blew right through it, you could probably finish it off in maybe like 8 or 10 hours or something. It's not that long in the grand scheme of things, but there's plenty of side stuff you could do, so you could probably stretch it out to maybe like 15 hours or so.
Yep. There you go.
It's like an
JP's looking for it
adventure
now.
game or something like that, right?
I'm sorry.
What type of game is it exactly?
The closest comparison you could probably make is almost like a Zelda-esque type of game.
Okay.
You know, you're exploring the world. You kind of have your Epona with your hovercraft. You know.
Was that the game that starts off and you have to go get the gun because your thing blows up, the lighthouse blows up or some shit like that? Is that right?
Yeah. The main enemy is attacking. You know, the power goes off in the lighthouse, and then you have to like defend, and then it kind of goes from there.
Okay. Maybe we'll throw it on the list. I've got a lot of stuff to catch up.
Throw it on the list, JP. We're gonna make JP play it.
Oh, good.
Yep.
I'm excited.
Yep. Sorry, I was looking forward to it too, Fat Baby, but it just didn't.
Yeah.
Happen.
Oh well. Maybe Tokyo Game Show. Yes. Hold out hope.
Well, no. Don't show that at Tokyo. You show Last Guardian at fucking Tokyo Games.
No, nobody cares about Last Guardian, man.
I'm on that boat.
I care.
So how about one more thing? How about Rhyme? That like kind of thing that looks like Ego 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's right.
You were freaking out. You're like, what is this? What? And I was like, that's Rhyme, man. That's right. They showed this like 2 years ago, and they haven't showed anything since.
I know. That's why I was like, I felt dumb for not remembering it, but it looks pretty hype. Pretty great.
It looks really good graphically. Again, we don't know what the gameplay is, and Tequila. Is it Tequila Games? Is that the dev? It's Tequila something.
They made Guacamelee, I think.
Maybe they made a really stinker of a game recently by the name of Dead Nation, I believe.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I can't. I think it was like Infernal or something. I can't remember the name.
It was a really bad game, and I forgot what I think it was called.
It should remain forgotten. It was that bad.
Yeah. So they have a lot to prove with that game. We'll see what happens if they do.
Sure.
Thanks, Fat Baby.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The other thing that was announced this week, I don't know if it was necessarily Gamescom exclusive, but the guys that make Payday 2 are making
a new game,
a Walking Dead game. Robert Kirkman is giving them a license to create a co-op fucking zombie game.
What the hell?
Yeah. I'm kind of excited for that.
That's kind of weird. That's a little bit weird.
Why is that
I don't know how I feel about that.
Why?
Are they doing too much with the Walking Dead franchise at this point?
Nah.
Really?
Nah, it's too
You're
good.
like a diehard fan, though, so maybe your opinion is mute.
It's
maybe you'll
good.
just play anything they latch onto that franchise.
No.
You know, one thing that I was kind of pissed off about, because I was really interested, you didn't watch the EA conference at all, right?
No, I didn't.
It started at 3 a.m. for me, so it started at 3 a.m. for you. I was up, and I was trying to watch it, but the idiots were streaming 1080p 60 at 2K bitrate.
Yeah.
And so it was just constantly, like, stopping. The stream was absolute horse shit. I couldn't watch a fucking thing. I don't know if the VODs work. The stream cut off, like, 30 times over the course of an hour. But the stuff that they were showing for Dragon Age Inquisition looked really good. I actually am kind of excited for that game.
When you could watch it.
When I could watch it.
All right, we got our next.
Pretty good.
We got our next caller. We got Crash on the line. Hello, Crash. Welcome to 8-Bits.
Hey, how's it going, guys? How are y'all?
Good, man.
Crash.
Doing good.
So I got two kind of simple questions, I guess. So the first one is about Blizzard. So Heroes should be coming out soon-ish, right?
Did they announce a beta? Like it's going into?
I don't think so. Unless I missed it. But.
No, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, because they used the same exact model that they used for Hearthstone to advertise for this, which was give it to streamers, give it to very few non-streaming, non-community members. I guess I was lucky enough to get into that, and so I got to play a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is a kind of a cool game. This is fun, but at the same time, I mean, that game did not pick up with the same hype as Hearthstone. It didn't pick up the ball and run anywhere.
Right.
And now, like, everyone across the board, I know Giant Bomb's opinion, I know IGN, they're all just kind of like, where does this game even fit in when Dota is turning into this colossal thing? LoL is not, like, letting go by any means. Where does this game kind of fit in? So I guess the kind of question I have is, first off, was the mistake their advertisement? And then how do they fix it? Because I don't know where they go from here.
I'll comment on this. I mean, Hearthstone was such a bizarre thing, right? Like, how would anyone have known? Like, I'm sure Blizzard, and I heard the rumors before Hearthstone came out. People were like, dude, there's something at Blizzard that people are playing that, like, they can't get enough of, right? So even Blizzard themselves, somewhat jaded probably through the development of this game, were like, dude, we have something awesome here. So they release it kind of in this, like, slow trickle way, right? It's an exclusive release, let's just call it. And because of that, the popularity of it exploded. But when they did that to Heroes, it actually meant that the server population was so low that it wasn't fun for people to play at all.
Yeah.
And
like, you'd face the same people sometimes.
Yeah, and it just got really old. I think that, like, as much as Blizzard would never admit it, Hearthstone could have actually been retail when it was first given to streamers.
Yeah.
Like, it was
I mean, it kind of was. We were able to buy stuff.
Right. So the problem is that Heroes, so far, like, they've added the artifacts, they've taken them out, they've added new talent trees, they've, like, redone a lot of that stuff. I mean, the game is still very much alpha in what they call it. So, you know, I just don't know if maybe doing it the Hearthstone way was the right way because of the style of game that it was. I feel like still to this day that more people should have had access to it early on. And not that would have increased its popularity by tenfold, but it at least would have made it a little bit more fun to play at the time because you were just playing a lot of the same people. And, you know, I don't know. How can they fix it? I think the game's just got to, like, be available to more people before they can even think about fixing it, to be honest. But, JP, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't. Heroes is a really weird thing. I think that there's been some difficulties in promoting it. One, it's got the same acronym as StarCraft 2 currently. It's a little bit weird from the get-go. I think that was kind of a stumble.
Definitely.
Which I don't think is the biggest thing, but a lot of people kind of made jokes about it then. Two, I think it's, at first glance, it's very casual focused from a lot of people from their perspective of it. And it's not a game that, like, solo queuing in that game is a fucking nightmare, more so than probably other MOBAs, at least in my experience. But Blizzard's they've started actually, I think this week or maybe last week, I don't know how recent it's been, but I've seen them promoting like certain streamers. I think Sheth was playing yesterday, or maybe the day before, with Idra was there. They were running a full 5-man, and they were doing, like, hero selections and stuff like that. And it took a long time. So I think there is, like, a super huge amount of depth to that game when it comes to, like, competitive 5v5. It's just really hard to show that. And I think that's what they're trying to show right now is with Dota and League of Legends, like, the idea of a pro player in that is very real, and it's very easy to see because it's everywhere, right? That's the number one thing you see on Twitch and when it comes to streaming platforms is here is the highest level of play of this game. With or not with Hearthstone, but with Heroes, you don't see that. You see randoms like me who don't really, I mean, I care about the game, but I don't care about the game in that capacity, right? I'm not a pro player by any stretch of the imagination. So people just aren't that interested in it right now. I think as that game continues to expand its audience, will eventually catch on because there's a huge amount of people out there that are just Blizzard fanboys. And for a Blizzard fanboy, that game is amazing. It has all of the right things in it for a fanboy to get attached to, both from the start and also both from you can pay it. You can pay to see some of that stuff. So it's going to be kind of a slow burn. I don't think it's dead in the water. I see a lot of people saying that. It's just not there yet. Like, as Wheat said, they're changing a lot in that game from week to week. So much so that I don't even know if they know everything about that game and how to work with that game and what things to implement in that game. So
Sure.
I'm keeping a distance from it just because I don't have that much interest in the MOBA genre. But I think it's eventually going to be really big. It's just going to take a while longer for it to get there.
I definitely, I just want to throw in here real quick. I commend the people who are playing and putting a lot of time into it now, because I know that if I hopped in and played it now, it would be a totally different game from what I played when it first came out. And for me, it's more like backing off until I know I'm playing the game that will be the game that everyone plays. You know, like my time is already split amongst other games. Playing a game that's just going to constantly be changing like that, like, I mean, taking out major systems and putting them back in, to me, it's not a ready game yet. So
it's not there yet.
Yeah, it's not there yet for me. I will absolutely play Heroes when that, hey, everyone, boom.
Final product.
Yeah, because there's going to be a shitload of people that are going to play it. It'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of varying skill levels. That's what I'm looking for.
One thing I would have really liked is, I guess, as they used that model as a form of advertisement, would have been, you know, unlock all the characters that you have ready. It's alpha, and these people are going to be playing your game. You don't want to see the same heroes whenever you go to every stream. If they had maybe opened it up to more characters, so it wasn't just like Illidan and Pudge, I guess the equivalent of Pudge, and if it wasn't just those guys that you were seeing every single game and you were seeing a lot more variants, because all the characters are unlocked, I think that would have done them a lot of justice. At least I feel like.
Probably.
Yep.
There's also not that much hero variance in that game. There's only like 13. That might even be too generous of a number. There's not like they're introducing heroes very slowly because they just don't exist yet, right? Yeah. That's also something for MOBAs that is pretty huge, is to have a huge array of characters, both for the balance of the game and for people that just enjoy playing different character types.
Sure. And then I have one more.
Sure, real quick.
Yeah. So Destiny, they announced their expansion.
Mm-hmm. It's really weird.
Everyone's like sitting here like the game doesn't have very much content from what people can tell. Everyone is kind of curious of what's going to happen with this game and where is the content actually going to be, because you're only in like a city per planet or something, or a zone per planet. And then they go off and announce this before relieving any of those issues. Like, what are they planning? I'm not quite sure why they would go about it that way until at least the game gets out. Like, wait till, I don't know, Tokyo Game Show or something.
I mean, the game will be out by the time Tokyo Game Show comes around. It comes out on September the 9th, I think. So we're less than a month away from Destiny launching. But, yeah, like that game has a lot to prove on launch. It's already, I think, like the most pre-ordered game of all time or some crap like that.
Yeah,
so it'll have like a huge, it'll have a lot of legs, but how many people are going to stick around after they hit the level cap, right? That's going to be the big thing, especially for those people not interested in the PvP aspect of it. Kind of like myself, like I could give two fucks about playing against other players. I've played Halo already, a billion. I played 4 of them actually, 5 of them with ODST, or wait, maybe 6 because of Reach. Anyways, like
don't forget Halo Wars, JP.
Yep, I already forgot it,
man.
I already forgot it. So yeah, like it is kind of content light from what we know, and that's going to be what happens on that launch, or what everyone's looking to see what happens at that launch is like how much game is there, and if they're really like putting all of that stuff later down the road. I think he said December for when that to come out. Like that's gonna suck. I can't see myself doing the same raid or whatever they call it in that world for 3 months straight. I don't see myself doing that. So I don't know. We'll have to see how long it takes and all that stuff. How long it takes to hit cap level and quote unquote gear up and all that stuff.
I'm excited to experience it for the first time soon. Yay. All right.
Yep.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Later.
All right. We still got calls coming in, so I'm going to keep taking them. This next one is going to be from D. What's up, man? Welcome to 8-Bits.
Hey, thanks for having me back. First things first, Skype sucks so much.
Skype does suck. I'll second you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on again. And something I could talk about all kinds of things, but the most relevant thing to the Gamescom, I've only ever seen one person on, and he was a friend of mine on Facebook, mention this. The Warlords of Draenor trailer. The what's up with like it kind of breaking the law?
Right. So I can actually explain this because I'm a huge WoW nerd, and I actually researched.
Yeah,
it.
awesome.
Well, I've played all of them, and I was a really big WoW nerd, but my lore may be a little sketchy, but that seems like bullshit to me.
So
But
did
go
you
on.
play the latest raid in World of Warcraft?
No.
So at the end of that, the orc that you see in the trailer is Grom Hellscream. His son, Garrosh Hellscream, was the final boss of Mist of Pandaria. At the end of that, I don't know through what device or what he does, but he goes back in time. And you can actually see him in the trailer that they released yesterday. He's kind of a shadowy looking orc in the background. He goes back in time to warn his father of what happens when he makes this deal. So in the original story, he actually drank that thing that Gul'dan was handing him. But in the trailer, he doesn't, and then he kills the Pit Lord there instead of later when he's with Thrall, which happens in the Warcraft 3 campaign. So he's basically rewriting history in this sense. There's two dimensions. There's Dimension A, which is the one we know.
That's
Dimension B, which
okay.
is the one where he goes back.
And that's why
time.
you see the gate.
And so he also tells them multiple things, like they build that portal, the dark portal, to go into Azeroth twice, and they fail both times. Now he's telling them what happens and why he fails, and he's also bringing back the knowledge and the technology of 35 years worth, as kind of Azeroth has gone through this technological boost in the past 35 years. So now they're coming back into Azeroth with like the technology of the current year in Azeroth, and like all of the united orc clans of whatever the fucking world is that the orcs live in. I forget the name of it. And so like that is kind of where they're going with this new game, is that like it's the orcs that are all fucking joined together. They're all like super teched out, and they're all badass, and they know everything, and they can actually like have a real war and have a good chance of beating the forces of Azeroth this time. That's me nerding out for this week. I'll see you next week.
There it is.
Outlands. Thank you. That's the name of the orc world.
Like it happened with League of Legends. Like my favorite character, they just decided to completely rewrite his lore. Like he was, if anyone knows Trundle, he was ugly as sin. He was a troll. He was fucked up and ugly. But it was because he like took on this whole curse of his whole entire tribe, took it onto himself, and that's why he was ugly. Then they completely rewrit like the lore for 4 different people that were all from the same area and made him pretty. And it was bullshit. So I hate when people do that kind of thing. But no, that's really cool. That actually sounds pretty cool. And I hate you for it because you're snake oil. I hate it.
There it is. Buy it.
It has potential to be really cool.
Did you know they're bringing out a new Heroes reboot thing in 2015?
A new.
What do you mean a new Heroes? Like the show?
Heroes? Like Heroes, the show, yeah.
Oh, yes.
NBC announced.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I want to know if they're going to just reboot it or if they actually are going to...
They should just start from the end of the first season.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly.
And just redo the show after that.
Honestly.
So I know I asked you about this week. Like I know you know they exist, but has anyone, like, have either of you actually read the graphic novels that go along with it to find out what the fuck actually happens? Yeah.
Nah.
I have not.
Okay.
I haven't.
I will do, and I'll let you know if they're really as bad as everyone thinks.
Awesome. All right, D. Thanks for your call, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. We had
The
one
Wild
guy.
Lord is actually kind of cool. Garrosh is basically Hitler. Like he's trying to get rid of the Draenor, which is it's a ridiculous story. Go read it if you're interested. I think Draenor's the right one.
I'm going to take this last call.
Cool.
Last caller of the night. We got Cyrus on the line. Hello. Welcome to 8-Bits. What's up, man?
Hello. Thank you very much for accepting my call.
Thank you for calling.
I was just going to ask about, this week that they announced that DayZ would be going to consoles. Do you think it's okay for them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God. How did we... JP, how did you not do... Oh,
I don't...
God.
That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a conference.
No.
It was also weird, 'cause, like, Dean Hall said he was like done with DayZ after this year.
Right.
And then he like goes out in the middle of the conference and like he talks about how well DayZ is like flourished over the past 2 years, and then they don't show anything. Like it was just dumb. But sorry, caller. I think you had a actual question rather than just bringing the topic up.
No, that's cool. What I was going to ask you is, how do you feel the fact that trying to port a game to consoles when they haven't yet even completed a game.
Yeah, exactly. I think you kind of took the feeling that I have with your question. Exactly. Like the game is not finished and it's sold a shit ton of units, and it's not finished at all, right? So I don't know. I don't know like what to think. I think it was really fucking weird for Dean Hall to go up there and say that.
Because I'm seeing a lot of early access games nowadays is when they sell a lot of copies, all of a sudden, like the game devs slow down in the amount of stuff they do, the amount of updates they get over months, and I find they just slowly die on early access.
Yeah, like,
dude, gamers should not fucking stand for this shit. This is insane, dude. I mean, like, honestly, I was just more fucking befuddled by the fact that they're even releasing it on console, because that doesn't make sense. But I guess, like, I'm one of the guys that has had the wool pulled over my eyes, because I have stealthily forgotten that DayZ is not fucking finished.
Yeah.
And that is, and now that I'm reading this, because I remember when they're like, yeah, we're ramping up the team size, you know, we're working for you guys, but they're saying like they ramped up the team size, start working on the PS4 version.
I haven't watched any streams recently, but have they actually got zombies in DayZ now?
Not as much as like an H1Z1 or something like that. They're still very few and far between.
Oh god.
They're not really the main factor of that game at all.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the point of the game.
It's like NeoGAF and shit just totally going ape shit over this, or what?
I hope so. I'm sure they are. That was like one of the most offensive things I've seen in a Sony press conference. To have that there, that was really weird.
Yeah, that was essentially my question, just to see how you felt about this early access business.
DayZ is such a weird thing. Like I was such a fan for a while, and like as he stepped away, and I guess he's a part of Bohemia Interactive now or whatever. Like the people that make Arma, and I think Arma bought DayZ. I would assume if he's a part of them, like, and they spun it off and kind of made their own engine. Like it's really weird that
development.
Yeah, I think 10 years from now, there's going to be a documentary that looks back on Dean Hall and the evolution of DayZ and how fucked up it got. And eventually it'll like implode on itself, and that'll be what the documentary's about.
You never know. In 10 years, we might actually have DayZ 1.0.
Yeah, exactly. We might actually have the full PC game.
Never.
It was weird, too, in the thing. He came out and he's like, I think he said 4 years from now is the goal of them getting DayZ on the PS4.
4 years.
What?
I think that's what it was.
Dude, no, what? Dude, I guarantee you someone is going to make a game better than DayZ by the time that happens. That is what they should be the most scared about. Because Battle Royale's already done it, right? People have found, well, we could take the charm and sort of the experience of that, and we can make it a more organized thing that people will enjoy to play. Boom. Evolution of that genre. Like, doesn't anyone over there get concerned that, like, hey guys, if we don't get this out, someone else will do it for it? I mean, even aren't the Eve folks talking about making a DayZ style game too? And obviously H1Z1's on the right track, and I don't get that. I don't get that. How can you be so comfortable in a constantly changing and evolving industry like that? It's
because so many people were stupid enough to buy an early access before actually knowing what the game was going to be like. They've already got all the money they need.
Yeah, it's true.
There's no encouragement because they're not going to get many sales from releasing.
Yeah.
Well, at least not many more.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It is a little bit weird for sure.
It's a shame. All right,
Sad to see the system abuse, but thank you
for
accepting my call.
Yeah, thank you, Cyrus, for calling. We really appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
See ya.
All right.
Yeah, I had totally forgot about that thing, and oh god, Sean is driving the fastest car in Arma 3, and he's gonna wreck and kill himself so soon.
Is he going through the tutorial right now?
No, he's actually in a live game right now, Battle Royale.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch that a little bit later. So, well, let's do wrap up.
Yeah.
Let's do wrap up. What do you got?
Well, I'm going to be joining Sean in probably about 30 or 40 minutes. I'm going to go get some food before I jump in. and then I'll be joining Sean in some Battle Royale for at least till 7 my time, which is 5 hours from now. Yep, just hit a tree, and now the car no longer works. And then I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I need to start like actually taking weekends off instead of just streaming constantly. So I might either play Final Fantasy 14 all day tomorrow and just forget about the world, or I might just stream Final Fantasy 10 all day tomorrow and hate myself. So I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Hate myself, disconnect from the world.
Sunday we've got Solemn at 8 Eastern. I think that is the time. I guess everyone agreed to that. I'm not really sure. And yeah, then Monday is not Swan Song. We're doing Swan Song, I guess, a week from Saturday. Is that what we decided on?
Yes, sir. Right? Yes, sir. A week from tomorrow.
And then in 2 weeks we'll be in PAX. So yeah, kind of a low-key weekend for me. But we'll be streaming all day today over at my channel. So if you guys want to see some Battle Royale, and maybe I'll play Final Fantasy X to wind down the stream. Or maybe I'll just get real stressed out and play Hearthstone tonight. I don't know.
Ooh, the options are so great.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm actually, as far as my schedule is concerned, in 1 hour I'll be heading on over to twitch.tv/Twitch, where I've got Twitch Weekly for this week. A lot of cool stuff going on Twitch, as you've probably already been tuned into some of it. Will last about an hour, and then I'll probably take some time off. I am going to probably end up streaming some more Smash with mini-wheat tonight. It was just too much fun to not do it again. Because I've got to go to bed early. I'm headed out to Vegas for SOE Live. I'll only be there on Saturday. So if you happen to be there, I think that it's already underway, so you're probably not at the convention watching the show. But if you are,
a brutal trip.
Come say hi. What? You know what? It's actually like it's like a 2-hour flight to Vegas.
Direct?
Not tomorrow, but direct home, which is the run I really care. But it just because I have to get there like as soon as possible. But the first flight to Vegas doesn't leave till like noon or something. So I'm stopping in Denver, which is like a 50-minute flight. You're up and down, and then another 50-minute flight to Vegas. So it should be all good. But I'll be doing a couple panels there and whatnot. They'll be back Sunday. Stream some more. I'll see what you're up to, and we'll figure something out. But VODs will be available on my channel if you are a subscriber. Otherwise, they will be up shortly, usually within 24 hours, over on youtube.com/itmeJP. We will have an 8-bit next week. We will be discussing what will be coming up on PAX. We hope that we will have a green speak as well, and maybe a guest. Maybe we'll get one of the folks, one of the other broadcasters that will be there. So we'll talk through. But that's it for 8-bits this week, you guys. We'll see you next time on another episode. Till then, we're out here. Peace.
Bye-bye.